Today in the news, we got some more CES and a very weird PC. What's up guys, I'm Snows and this is your boot sequence. First up, let's talk memory. It looks like Samsung is finally catching up to other memory manufacturers in the NVMe SSD space. I'm actually pretty surprised that Gigabyte, Corsair, Sabrent, and other brands were able to get into the PCIe Gen 4 market before Samsung. Anyways, they are showcasing the 980 Pro NVMe SSD down at CES, and it's quite a speedy one. It has read speeds of up to 6.5 gigabytes per second and write speeds of up to 5 gigabytes per second. That will make it one of the speediest sticks yet, but definitely not the fastest. ADATA's XPG Sage will apparently enter the market at 7 gigabytes per second read and 6 gigabytes write. Speaking of ADATA, they just went ahead and expanded their product segment like crazy at CES. They've kind of been doing that for the last few months with AIO coolers and keyboards, but the heavy hitters are now here. I mean, when I think ADATA XPG, all that comes to mind are like sticks of RAMs and SSDs. But now the company will offer gaming laptops, compact desktops, gaming monitors. All of the new additions are actually quite good looking. I guess the main thing we have to wait for here is the full pricing on them. The white mini PC is actually pretty cool, and it uses Intel's Ghost Canyon NUC. Moving on, we have Razer with its first desktop PC. It's called the Tomahawk and it uses Intel's Ghost Canyon CPU module. The Ghost Canyon module, by the way, can go up to an i9-9980HK as the CPU. Razer is looking to start shipping this thing in June at a starting price of around $2,000. The pricing isn't set in stone though, and hopefully they're gonna reconsider because specs-wise at this price, it's pretty underwhelming. It would feature an i7 CPU, so likely an 8-core 8-thread, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, and an undisclosed RTX 20 series GPU. $2,000 is definitely not worth it for something like that, unless it's like a 2080 Ti. I mean, it has a mobile CPU, plus for the same price, you could probably build something more powerful that fits in an even smaller form factor like an N case or a KKSB case. Plus, it's Intel, so if you wanted a high performance upgrade path, you're probably going to have to wait a while. And that's if they actually keep up with manufacturing these Element cards. In really bizarre PC showcases, we have Inwin as usual. After the plastic bucket case and the super expensive 3D printed one, we now have a PC lamp, or is it more of a chandelier? Yeah, I don't know how to explain it either. It's called the Diey and it's part of their 10th generation Signature Edition chassis. It can house a PC, I sure hope so, but it also comes with its own AI that supports Alexa and Google Home. It has facial recognition and gesture recognition and, wait for it, a built-in projector. Yeah. It also has 80 plexiglass scales that are motorized. Diey means butterfly apparently, but this looks more like a land jellyfish with scales in my opinion. What do you guys think? In terms of specs, it basically supports everything from micro ATX to E-ATX boards. It has two power supplies, one at 1200 watts and one at 320. I'm guessing that the latter is for the all the electronics, and it has its own custom 360 AIO solution. No pricing info has been revealed, but I mean, come on, it's Inwin. It's probably going to be like 10K. Now, jumping into Fantex at CES, they just announced 3 new products. First is, of course, a case, the Eclipse P300A. It's basically a clone of the P300, but with the front punched out for airflow. I don't know why, but I prefer the airflow front of the P400A. It just feels a little too boxy on the P300A. It's also going to be available for $60 and in January. Then there's the D120 distro plate for water cooling. It's meant to fit any 120mm fan position, although it seems marketed towards the rear of the case. It is pretty expensive at $74 considering its size and the fact that it only has one flow splitter / merger. And lastly, and I was quite surprised about this, Fantex unveiled the Evolve Sound Mini, a tiny cute pair of speakers which apparently pack a bit of punch. They're powered via USB-C and receive the audio via a 3.5mm jack. The second speaker is powered with a micro USB connection to the first speaker so that the RGB on them stays perfectly synced. It also transmits the audio. Anyways, those speakers are going to be $30. Personally, I wouldn't buy them. Seems like the price is just a little too low to produce any kind of decent sound. Anyways guys, that is pretty much it for another CES day. Hopefully, if you've enjoyed, you're gonna slap that like button. If you got any comments or questions, you know where to put them. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video right here. Subscribe to the channel, stay frosty my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. On the next CES day, I'm guessing. Take care. Oh, by the way, if you wanted me to talk about the Sony EV, it's never gonna make it to market. It's never gonna get mass produced. This thing is basically a showcase to showcase all the technology Sony can bring into an EV. Okay, bye.